please whoop, cheer and scream. Give a lot of love. Welcome to the stage, the wonderful Leo Marr!
Hello, my name's Leo, and yes, I am gay. Surprise! Thank you, they hired me just for you, Thomas. I am the token gay on the bill. I will strip later. No. What brought you to TFL? Going into all those tunnels. It's the level of comedy you can expect from me. No, it's fine. And now I'm also clear why you have so many friends. Did you bring them before or after the chill? Or are you gonna go, he knows what it's about. He knows what it's about. No, I am gay, and today I actually want to tell you a little bit about my coming out to my father and my sexual awakening, so strap on. Strap on. Growing up gay for me wasn't that easy because I didn't grow up in a big open city like London. I am actually German. Do we have any Germans in? No? Okay, Brexit worked. Amazing. Luckily, I'm not full-blown German. I actually grew up in Switzerland, right? Specifically in a little part of Switzerland where they speak German, or like the locals call it, German! The problem with the German speakers in Switzerland is that they don't speak proper German, they speak Swiss German. Right? Anyone ever heard this before? Anyone been to Switzerland? Yeah, some rich...
I'm an 8 Swiss.
Oh, wow! Wonderful. We've got rich people in. Amazing! Wonderful. So you all know this, right? Swiss German sounds very much like, ja, können Sie bitte mal das Küchenkästchen öffnen? Ja, danke vielmals. Right? Very much like you're sort of choking on something, but not in a good way, Thomas. Who am I kidding? He's not choked since 2008. My sister just got it. Doing stand-up comedy in Switzerland is a bit tricky, right? Because Swiss people, they don't really have humor, but they do have money. But if you really want to find some nice Swiss folks, you sort of look around for a very nice house with a very nice garden, because Swiss people will be sitting there right on the fence. That's where Swiss people like to be. Try and get an opinion out of a Swiss person? Impossible, right? Whether Nazis good or bad, I don't know. How much gold do they have? That's a little history joke for you there. Usually splits the room a little bit, right? Not because it's particularly offensive, more because of the state of the British education system. Sorry for the teachers, yeah? Sorry. I also try and distance myself from my German heritage a little bit, right? I wonder why. For me, that mainly means that I'm trying to lose my German accent in English, right? Because I think a German accent in English sounds very harsh, very dreadful, very awful, very much like I want to draft you all into the Wehrmacht! But my German accent's still sort of lingering around a little bit, right? Just like the feeling of guilt about the fact that my granddad lives in Argentina now. Very happy day. But yeah, growing up gay in Switzerland is a bit tricky, right? Imagine me, 17, gay, having a deeply rooted sexual fascination with anything that looked even vaguely alive. At some point I got my own laptop, right? And after not having left my room for 3.5 weeks, I wanted a full gay experience, right? I wanted to experience pride, the brotherhood, the community. I wanted to get fingered in a car park, that's what I wanted. But I also didn't want to lie to my parents where I was going 3 times a day. So the only option I had was to come out, right? So I got my family around the dinner table and then very somberly, I am gay. And singing. No. My dad's reaction was to laugh and note the date down on a post-it note, right? So far so good, but it then took a turn because the man then went, "Oh, son, did you know I'm also bisexual, and do you want to hear about my experiences with men?" And that, my friends, is trauma. You're welcome. To be fair, I should have known that my dad isn't straight, right? Because contrary to popular opinion, I am quite old. I am so old that before I got my laptop, I struggled with having sufficient access to porn, right? And my dad, being even older, because that's how time works, had quite a large collection of like artsy coffee table books full of naked people, right? And one fateful evening, I had a good leaf through. Eventually, I found a little book full of naked men. Ooh. I made a snap decision, nicked it. My father never noticed, so I thought. You are nodding way too much at that. Are you my dad? No, father, he's finally here. No, my dad never noticed. He actually also got his own computer. He then got really into Russian women in his neighborhood, but that's a different story. Eventually, my dad did something else. What was that? Very important. Oh, he died! Yes. Don't worry, it's not going to be the sad bit of my Edinburgh show. It's fine. What do you do when your parent passes away? You go through all their stuff. What did I find? So much porn. What I also found was the little book I had stolen all these years ago, right? Which must have meant, eventually, my dad must have noticed its absence and must have gone, "Oh, son, good for you, but I also like this book," and then replaced it with the exact same one. In true father and son fashion, we had earmarked the exact same pages. Which, trust me, is weird, but also makes me feel very close to my late father. But growing up gay in Switzerland is a bit tricky because Switzerland is very small, nothing really happens, the communities are very small, it's very, very boring, right? But luckily for me, Switzerland has a lot of dodgy organizations, right? You know them, FIFA, Nestle, Dignitas. They also have dodgy sexual health charities. And when I was young, one of these charities was recruiting young people to go to gay parties and try to do sexual, like STD prevention, so talk to people about STDs and hand out condoms. Now I sense a lack of reaction in the room. Me, a minor, was asked to go to gay parties to talk to men as old as my father about syphilis. And given my coming out story, my dad could have been there. To be fair, I had a great time. I had a great time at these parties, right? Nobody checked my age, I got in for free. And imagine me, a virgin, trying to prevent people from getting an STD, while I myself was desperate to get my first STD. Great time. But to be fair, the sexual health advice I was giving out was terrible, right? You like poppers? Have a sip. You don't have lube? Use hand sanitizer. Sex toys, don't wash them, they just get better. It's like an iron skillet. Mine are like Le Creuset, right? Very expensive, in all colours, and in my family, passed down from father to son. Just like Le Creuset, mine are quite heavy duty and can be used in a pinch to kill a man. At the time, I was quite safe from getting an STD myself, right? Because I had an impenetrable shield called acne. Amazing. If anybody got past that, I had a second shield on my back, more acne. Loved it. Eventually, I completed Switzerland. I wanted bigger, I wanted more exciting things. Pun intended, Thomas. So I moved to London, right? I moved to London, and when I moved to London, several things happened. Firstly, I felt incredibly welcome, right? Because here, lots and lots of people are very welcome to queer people. Back in rural Switzerland, straight people still spit at the gays, and we have to pretend we're not incredibly turned on by that. And I also learned a lot. And for example, did we know that there's a gay version of rock, paper, scissors? It's called Rimming Popper Syphilis. Amazing. Play it later tonight, it's going to be fun. I also learned, and Thomas, you have to be quiet, but I also learned what cruising is. Do we know what cruising is? You don't know? Huh? Yeah, of course he does. That's where I met him. Do you know what cruising is? You do? Okay, and yeah. I mean, it's interesting. You should know. You have a vibe. I mean, for those who don't know, cruising is basically gay men going into the woods and having a good shag, right? For me, cruising was quite new because in Switzerland it's not really a thing, because there you can't really do cruising. That's because of the echoes in the Alps. Smack, smack, smack. Harder, harder, harder. Oh, lube. But what I really needed when I moved to UK was a good friend, right? And And a good friend to a gay man, that position is traditionally filled by a heterosexual woman who says things like, "Let's go and have some bubbly." Thomas is looking at all of his friends at the same time. Good, good. You escaped the hellhole that is all bar one. Congratulations. I met this my wonderful person when I moved into my first house share, right? And she was an artiste. She collected the gays like they were Pokemon, right? Snack, 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 snack. Lured them in with brunch, jacked them up on Prosecco, and then watched the drama from the sideline. Absolutely iconic. But she came through as a true ally on one fateful day, and that was when I forgot my cock ring in the bathroom. Now, I'd had a visitor for a sleepover in my mouth. And after he'd left, I dutifully carried over all my sex toys over to the bathroom to wash them in the sink, right? Because I'd been told it's not nice to put them in a communal dishwasher. A few hours later, my straight housemate comes down the stairs and goes, "Ooh, ooh." Sorry, that's how all straight men sound in my mind. "Oh, oh, what's that rubber thing in the bathroom? Is it like something to like fix the bike?" To his credit, it was one of the more complicated cock rings. It was sort of one that had like sort of two rings, like welded. It's tricky to explain. I've brought it with me. It's actually alright. So it's sort of like, you sort of put, "Can I have a volunteer to the stage, please?" It's fine, it's fine. You don't have to get up. So eager. It's just a joke. But my housemate, she clocked it immediately, right? She clocked what was going on, texted me, stalled for time. I sprinted up the stairs and hid it away. Right? My friends, that is true allyship. Forget pride, forget the flags. Help us hide our sex toys, because otherwise straight people will use them to fix their bikes. Now, you've been a delight. Thank you very much. I've been Leo.